You may be seated. Good evening, everyone. I'm Matthew Ballantyne, principal of Chillicothe High School, and I'm thrilled to welcome you here this evening as we gather to celebrate the commencement of the young men and women of the class of 2025. It truly is a pleasure to recognize and honor the accomplishments of the graduating class that has not only grown and excelled, but has persevered through unimaginable times. You have shown strength, adaptability, and heart. And tonight we celebrate all that you are and all that you are becoming. At this time, I'd invite everyone to stand for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare,
Please be seated. Thank you to Mr. Stasko and the talented students of CHS's Symphonic Choir for that beautiful rendition. Please join me also in recognizing Mrs. Preston and our orchestra director and the outstanding students of the CHS Orchestra for their musical contributions to this evening's ceremony. Let's give both groups a warm round of applause for Mr. Stasko, Mrs. Preston, and our incredible students. Once again, welcome, good evening, and congratulations to the Chillicothe High School graduating class of 2025. Before we proceed any further this evening, I would like to introduce a number of individuals who have played an integral role in both this ceremony and the ongoing success of our district. I ask that the following individuals please stand to be recognized by those in attendance. Seated this evening on the stage is Superintendent of the Chillicothe City School District, Ms. Deborah Swinehart. Our Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Kathy Payne. And our Treasurer, Mr. Nick Overly. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our district representatives for this evening. Also joining them on stage is the Chillicothe City School District Board of Education. Board President, Mr. Ryan Wade. Vice President, Mr. Sean Porter. Mr. Bill Bonner. And Mr. Randy Kelly. Also in attendance this evening, seated near the stage, are several individuals who work closely with our students each and every day, supporting, guiding, and advocating for their success. Please help me in recognizing Mr. Mike McCorkle, Assistant Principal. Mr. Dustin Weaver, Assistant Principal. Ms. Shara Cook, Assistant Principal. Mrs. Brittany McDonald, School Counselor for the class of 2025. Mrs. Charity Armbruster, School Counselor. Mrs. Destiny Allen, School Counselor. Mr. Jonathan Davis, Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center's Superintendent. And finally, there's several faculty and staff members who have played key roles in ensuring that this is a special night for each and every one of us. And I invite the following to stand as they are recognized. Ms. Crystal Puckett, as Administrative Assistant. Mrs. Amy Winfield, Administrative Assistant. Mrs. Kelly Sigler, Senior Class Advisor. Mr. Travis Kearns and Mr. Morgan Sisko, faculty representatives chosen by the class of 2025. Then we have three important people who spend daily ensuring our safety at the Chillicothe High School. Officer Julie Preston. Officer Tim Boltonhouse. And Officer Darren Hall. Graduation is a culmination of a journey that begins in kindergarten and continues through the 12th grade. It's a shared achievement, one built through years of commitment, learning, and growth. One of our greatest assets in this journey is the incredible staff of the Chillicothe City School District. The success of our curriculum, extracurricular programs, and educational offerings would not be possible without their tireless work of a wide range of professionals, including administrators, teachers, administrative assistants, custodians, bus drivers, aides, monitors, and cafeteria staff. At this time, I'd like to ask all members of the Chillicothe City School District staff who are in attendance this evening to please stand to be recognized. To all of you who have been recognized so far this evening, thank you. Thank you for the countless ways in which you support and uplift our students and help make Chillicothe City Schools a place where excellence thrives. Now, before we continue, there's one more group that is absolutely necessary to recognize and be acknowledged, because without them, this evening would not be possible. To the parents and guardians of the class of 2025, thank you for entrusting us with your children. Thank you for partnering with us in their education. And thank you for the love, encouragement, and support that you've given them along the way. It is very possible that without your steady guidance, your student might not be seated here this evening, preparing to receive their diploma. Would all the parents and guardians of the class of 2025 please stand and be recognized for the vital role that you've played. As we look ahead at what comes next for our graduates, we recognize that each of them is about to embark on a journey which is unique and meaningful for each. Some will begin with the next chapter of their lives being at college. Others will enter the workforce. And some among the class of 2025 will enter the military to serve and defend our country. To those graduates, the choice you have made gives us all tremendous pride. Soon you will join the long line of men and women who have loved and worn the uniform with honor, making personal sacrifices to protect the freedoms that each and every one of us enjoys. Would all members of the class of 2025 who have committed to the military service please stand so we may recognize you. Please remain standing as, in the spirit of gratitude and respect, I know that there are many among us here this evening in the stands who are active duty service members and military veterans. I would ask that they also stand to be recognized for their sacrifices. And now a few words for our graduates. The speech for this evening that I decided to write is entitled, Time, Slow Down. I chose this title because, well, I've been saying it to myself a lot lately. When I look out into the sea of blue caps and gowns, I don't just see graduates, I see kindergartners. I see kindergartners with missing front teeth, kids learning to read, students who just yesterday were lining up in the cafeteria for pizza or mashed potato bowl. And suddenly, today, you're walking across the stage, about to go out and to change the world. For me, this class is especially personal. Many of you I've known since you were 5 years old, not just as a principal, but as a parent. I've also watched this class not just from the front of a classroom or across the gym floor, but from the passenger seat on the way to practice, from a backyard barbecue, or from the living room couch after a long school day. And sometimes I've watched from the back row of a concert or a competition, holding back tears of pride. Together, we've lived a lifetime in these 13 years. I've seen you win soccer regional semifinals with grit and determination. I've watched you bring home state titles in band, choir, and orchestra, making music that's lifted the souls and proved that excellence is found not just in the classrooms, but in the harmony of teamwork and passion. I've witnessed the triumphs of our wrestlers at state tournaments, battling not just opponents, but fear, pressure, and pain. I've seen you dance your hearts out at homecoming or prom, laughter echoing the gym or the cafeteria, as if time had stopped for just one perfect evening. But what stands out the most to me isn't the trophies or not the test scores, it's how you've shown up for each other. You've raised money when your classmate was in need. You've offered quiet kindness to friends who are struggling. And you've lifted each other up even when life was heavy. Dr. Seuss wrote, "Sometimes you'll never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory." Tonight is one of those moments, one in which we shall hold tightly in our hearts, even as it slips quietly into the past. You see, that's the paradox of moments like this. They are both an ending and a beginning. They are a goodbye and a hello. And if you're like me, you're trying to take a mental picture of everything, every smile, every parent's tear, every friend's wave across the crowd, hoping that just for a moment you can freeze time. And that's why I whisper, time, slow down. Not because I'm afraid of what's ahead for you, because I know that you're ready, that you're capable, and that you're brave. But because this is the class, this bond, this chapter has been beautiful. And we're not always ready to let go of beautiful things. Still, though, time moves on, and so must you. But as you do, take the lessons that you've learned, the relationships that you've built, and in the joy that you've shared, and let them be your compass throughout life. Let your setbacks fuel your strength. Let your victories inspire others. Let your quiet moments of doubt remind you that vulnerability is not weakness, it's honesty. And let your roots, this school, this town, this family of teachers, coaches, and classmates remind you that you are never alone. As Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what you said, People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. You have made us as a district and as an administrative team and as staff feel hopeful. You've made us feel proud. And you've made us believe in a better tomorrow. So to the class of 2025, as the sun sets on your high school years, take that last moment to look around. Take a deep breath. Soak it in. And if you find yourself to be like me, whisper, time, slow down. That's how you know it mattered. Congratulations. We love you, and we can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you. At this time, Mr. Stasko will lead the symphonic choir in the singing of "And So It Goes" by Billy Joel.
Sanctuary safe and strong, to heal the wounds from lovers past, until a new one comes along. I spoke to you in cautious tones, you answered me with no pretense. And still I feel I said too much. My silence is my self-defense.
And every time I've held a rose, it seems I only felt the thorns. And so it goes, and so it goes, and so will you soon, I suppose.
But if my silence made you leave, then that would be my worst mistake. So I will share this room with you, and you can have this heart to break.
And this is why my eyes are closed. It's just as well for all I've seen. And so it goes, and so it goes. And you're the only one who knows.
So I would choose to be with you. That's if the choice were mine to make. But you can make decisions too, and you can have this heart to break.
The next portion of our ceremony will feature speeches by three very talented students from the class of 2025. And to introduce them, I call to the podium Assistant Principal, Mr. Dustin Weaver.
First, I would like to call to the stage CHS Valedictorian, Mr. Aaron Ballantyne. The son of Matt and Amanda Ballantyne, Aaron will attend Rider University in the fall. His speech is entitled, "Won't You Be My Neighbor?"
Good evening. When you hear the statement, "Won't you be my neighbor?" what comes to mind? Younger generations might think it's a simple statement to ask someone to be their neighbor, or others might be confused by the query, taking it as an odd greeting. But to myself and many others, this remark elicits many fond memories, reminding us of Mr. Rogers, his show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and the impact he has had on the multitudes of lives around the globe. Fred Rogers was born in the 20s, and throughout his younger years, he aspired to work in healthcare, specifically to be a doctor. He grew up most of his life in a large house in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, with 2 parents and an adopted sister. When he was young, Rogers was very shy, playing by himself with puppets, creating characters and stories for them. Rogers suffered large masses of bullying, being overweight and shy, alienating him from many and making him very independent as well as closed off. It was not until high school that he was able to muster up the courage and to take initiative for himself, reaching out and making friends with some other students in his high school. After he had found community within others, he soared, becoming extremely successful in high school, college, and on a worldwide platform through his many different programs across many different TV networks. We, as a society, can take a lot away from Mr. Rogers and the principles that he lived by. Mr. Rogers emphasized the importance of community and highlighted those who did not conform to what would some call the societal norm. He encouraged the exposure of unorthodox ideas and introduced kids to people they would have not encountered otherwise. This idea of community and emphasis on understanding others is highly applicable to everyone's life and should be considered more often. Conflict in our life arises from a lack of understanding. We tend to quickly jump to conclusions, creating narratives about others when we face the unknown. While this may seem soothing to the brain and make us feel more complete about a situation or interaction, it could be doing the exact opposite for others, which in turn can be extremely harmful, isolating them and discouraging them from embracing their true selves. When making assumptions and lacking the patience to find community with the people around us, we continue to isolate ourselves from each other, creating a wider and wider divide. While this divide seems more apparent by the day, we all have the ability to combat this. Every day is full of conscious decisions that can determine how we build our community. Take this, for example. I have grown up my entire life as a competitive dancer. Around 2 years ago, I left the competitive dance scene because of the way it made me feel about myself and my identity. Growing up queer, it was difficult for me to find a space where I felt understood and respected for that aspect of myself. Well, my mom had a friend reach out to her about a newly founded dance company that I might be interested in, and she volunteered me to try out, and I am very thankful she did. Dancing and performing have been my life and passion since I was little, and the last thing she wanted from me was to quit because of how others made me feel. So, over the summer, I went to Columbus for a dance intensive, and my outlook changed. When I first arrived, I was a nervous wreck. I barely spoke to anyone and just existed in my own little bubble, afraid of what others might think if I just expressed myself. The first class eventually started, and the owner, as well as teacher, Josh Mankiewicz, introduced himself. The first thing he had us do before we even started to dance or move our bodies was to walk up to someone we had never met before and get to know them for 5 minutes, asking them questions like where they were from and how their day had been going. While uncomfortable at first, this gave me new insight into the importance of connecting with those around us. And as I've developed into an artist and human, I have learned to love it. It is amazing how much we can learn from others in a short amount of time. As I've grown up the past 2 years in this youth company and in dance class, I have noticed how much less judgmental I have been of both myself and others, as well as how much happier and understanding I have become as a person. I urge you the next time you feel confused or conflicted to just seek understanding and take the time to reach out before making an assumption. Having something as simple as a short conversation about each other's day can really impact our views of one another and how we connect on both a personal and community level. Think back to Mr. Rogers and the simple question of, won't you be my neighbor? While it may seem like a small gesture, it has expanded into a worldwide influence that we can all practice and learn from today. While we may believe our differences separate and define us, we can learn to appreciate the beauty in that fact. It is pertinent to make an effort to find community and to learn to appreciate our differences, using them to broaden our horizons. Lastly, to my queer-identifying peers and students, while in the world it may feel like we are isolated, it is imperative that we continue to express ourselves unapologetically. Continue to be yourself and to cultivate the community that you deserve and will always deserve. Like Mr. Rogers says, look for the helpers, you will always find the people who are helping. Your community is out there and you are such an important asset to it as well. Thank you to everyone in attendance tonight, and especially my parents, teachers, and peers who have encouraged me to be the person I am today. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2025, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Tremendous job, Aaron. Next up is Mr. Asher Pendle, Salutatorian of the class of 2025. The son of Dr. Brad and Ann Pendle, Asher will attend Cedarville University in the fall. His speech is entitled, "The View from Down the Road."
Good evening, everyone. My name is Asher Pendle, and I'm honored to stand before you tonight as the Salutatorian of the class of 2025. On behalf of this senior class, we would like to thank everyone who had a hand in this event today. To those who prepared for this ceremony, to the teachers who laid our academic foundations and stood by us through the years, and to the staff and administrators who kept our school running smoothly, thank you. You've worked tirelessly behind the scenes, solving problems we never saw, and all the while, you took time to know us personally. These relationships and your dedication have shaped our journey, and for that, we are truly grateful. To the families here, who we love dearly, thank you for investing, supporting, and walking with us every single day of our lives. To my family, I want to express my admiration for their initiative to raise me in the church since I was born. My faith in the Lord has been my anchor, and I truly do not believe I could have achieved this feat of salutatorian in my power alone. It was God who sustained me, and it was your prayers, encouragement, and love that kept me going. Now, if I'm being honest, it took me a very long time to know what to write for this speech. For weeks, people have been asking me, have you started your speech yet? Or what's your topic going to be? And my answer's always been, yeah, not quite, and I don't know yet. Maybe that says something about my tendency to turn assignments in a little last minute, but this just felt different. I mean, we spent 12 years doing homework only for me to be given one final assignment, a salutatorian speech that might have been due a few minutes ago. Now, I do know what an honor and a privilege it is to be up here, so I had to get to thinking and prayerfully consider what my topic should be. I proceeded to look back over the past year, and all of high school really, and began to remember the hard exams, the deadlines, and the late nights after away sports matches. All of these things consumed so much of my life over the past 4 years that I never had a chance to consider all of the little things and the time spent with those who I care about. Now, I'm not saying that extracurriculars and studies aren't important. I'm blessed to have earned this academic title and to have the opportunities to be involved in so many different things here at CHS. But this realization is something you only come across when it's all over. And the best lesson learned is a lesson that is shared. So tonight, I figured I'd share one of my experiences. I would like to take you all back in time about 8 months ago to a soccer game that would change the trajectory of my senior year completely. The evening started the same as any other. I put on my uniform and stepped onto this very field. Little did I know, I'd be carried off and put in a golf cart very soon. We found out shortly after that I had torn my ACL and would need a full reconstruction surgery. With this injury, I knew the rest of my soccer, swim, and tennis season would be over, at least to the degree of me playing. It was crushing to know that I had not only a long recovery ahead of me, but also the fact that my senior year would look very different from that of my friends. My schedule already looked different as well, without having any in-building classes. So I can look back and say that the majority of my senior year was spent at home. All of these changes left me very bitter and gave me a very unfeeling outlook towards school, sports, and life in general, as everything I had looked forward to was now gone. But recently, God placed something on my heart and began to tenderly change my perspective. He told me to slow down, stop, and look at the view now from down the road. Look at all the good that has come from this. There were little things, yes, like not having to swim the 500 or the attention you get from hobbling around on crutches. But the greatest blessing came in an unexpected way, as I got to spend the last year before college surrounded by the people who mattered most to me. My family, close friends, people who didn't just pray for me, but who let me pray with them. People I finally had time to really see, listen to, and grow with. God used what felt like a setback to show me what connection, love, and intentional time for relationships truly looked like. I'd come to see that we are never meant to walk through this life alone, and in this season of change, I'm choosing to lean fully on God and the people He has placed around me to encourage, pray for, and guide me forward. Many of you tonight will be leaving your parents' house for a dorm, an apartment, or a new chapter you can't fully imagine yet. So class of 2025, as we prepare to graduate and our time here begins to wane, I urge you to pause and consider the people who matter to you, your family, friends, mentors, coaches, whoever it may be. Take intentional time to thank them, spend time with them, learn from them, because we're leaving soon. And no matter where you're going next, these are the people who helped you achieve this goal today. I would like to leave you all with this verse. Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your path straight." Even when the path ahead feels unclear, God is faithful to lead us exactly where we're meant to go. And He often does so by placing the right people beside us to walk with us along the way. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2025.
Excellent job, Asher. Next up is Mr. Lucas Parks, our senior class speaker. The son of Neil and Kristen Parks, Lucas will attend Drake University in the fall. His speech is entitled, "Sitting on the Sidelines."
Good evening, esteemed faculty, proud parents, and fellow graduates of the class of 2025. It's my honor today to deliver this commencement address for this incredible student body. As I begin, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you to my incredible friends, to my endlessly supportive parents, to my amazing sister, and to the teachers and staff that made these 4 years everything they were. I stand here before you, looking back on the 4 years of legacy we've all made together. Today is a day of celebration. It's the day we've worked toward for years. The late nights, the numerous exams, the early morning meetings, the practices for the perfect swing, perfect run, perfect drive that we thought would never end. These obstacles created great challenges, yet we persevered. We stuck together and rose to the occasion when things were changing around us. We were one of the classes that saw all of our elementary schools in the community close as our schools were grade banded, bringing us all together at Tiffin Elementary. And then a few short months later, another change occurred as we moved into the new intermediate school. It was something that took some time to get used to, but it also forged so many lifelong relationships and brought us closer as a class. Not to sound cliche by mentioning this, but COVID completely ruined things for us, uprooting our middle school years. We went from growing up in a classroom to growing up over Zoom. It was a difficult transition that took a lot of time to get used to. Eventually, the schools reopened and things went back to a different kind of normal. The looming threat of COVID was still overhead as we slowly pushed through our 8th grade year. I'm sure many of us remember wearing masks in school and on the sidelines of our sports practices. It was ridiculous in 90-degree heat. As we entered the 4-year stretch of high school, we came into our own. We found the places where we belonged, tried new things, excelled in our passions, and grew stronger as a class. We as a class have done a tremendous job of standing up for what we believe in and taking part in a multitude of activities. We never limit ourselves to being defined by a singular thing, and we don't see others that way either. There is no one category we require each other to fit into, and we still love each other, regardless of our life choices. We are an example of inclusivity. We've proven that we can adapt, that we can overcome, and most importantly, that we care. We care about each other, about our community, and about the impact we can have on the world around us. As we step into the next chapter of our lives, whether that's college, the workforce, the military, or something entirely different, one question will shape the future. What kind of difference will we make? While considering what to write for my graduation speech, the words of author Judith McNaught kept coming to mind. You can't outwit fate by standing on the sidelines, placing little side bets about the outcome of life. If you don't play, you can't win. The truth is, the world doesn't change because of people who sit on the sidelines. It changes because of people who care enough to take action. And if there's one thing I know about this class, it's that we have a strong sense of empathy. We've seen it in the way we've supported each other, cheering each other on in sports, in performances, and in academics. We have seen it in the way we've come together for causes bigger than ourselves, raising money, volunteering, and speaking up when something isn't right. We have seen it in the small moments, the kindness, the encouragement, the willingness to lift others up. We've seen it on Yellow Day, in the William Goosey Parade, and the Keys to Success rallies. And that's what makes me hopeful, because if a group of students can make an impact here, in these hallways and classrooms, imagine what we can do out there. We don't have to change the world all at once, but we can change someone's world by caring enough to do something. We can care enough to be the kind of friend who listens, the kind of worker who brings honesty and integrity to their job, the kind of citizen who stands up for what's right, the little things we can do every day that work toward a unified goal. The world needs people who care. Whether you're an actor, a doctor, a lawyer, an electrician, a hairdresser, a politician, or the myriad of other occupations. And today, as we step forward as graduates, let's remember that making a difference isn't about being the most loud or the most powerful. It's about having the heart to try. So, let's go out there. Let's be compassionate. Let's take what we've learned and use it to build something better. Because the future isn't just something that happens. It's something we create. Congratulations, class of 2025. Let's live our passions and make a difference. Go Cavs.
Thank you, Lucas. And now, Ms. Swinehart, members of the Board of Education, faculty, parents, guardians, alumni, and friends of Chillicothe High School. As principal of Chillicothe High School, it is my pleasure and privilege to present to you, went off script, my apologies. The wind. Not yet, not yet. You got a minute. Yep. And now, members of the Board of Education, faculty, parents, guardians, and alumni and friends, It's my privilege to present to you the class of 2025, students who have met all of the requirements mandated by the State of Ohio's Department of Education and those of Chillicothe High School, certified by the Chillicothe City School District's Board of Education, and are entitled to receive a diploma signifying graduation from Chillicothe High School. At this time, members of the Board of Education, Ms. Swinehart, and I will present diplomas.
Diplomas will now be presented by Matt Valentine. Graduating with honors in social science and civic engagement, Aaron Michael Valentine. Graduating with honors, Asher Joseph Pendle. Diplomas will now be presented by Kristen Parks. Graduating with honors, Lucas Derry Parks. Diplomas will now be presented by Amanda Rollins. Deegan Brown. Diplomas will now be presented by Aaron Brown. Graduating with honors in STEM, Mason Andrew Brown. Diplomas will now be presented by Tony Hall. Hannah Nicole Onique Hall. Diplomas will now be presented by Shelby Keller. Garrett Oliver Johnson. Diplomas will now be presented by Danielle McDaniel. Brigham Eldon McDaniel. Diplomas will now be presented by Mary Montgomery. Aiden M. Montgomery. Diplomas will now be presented by Katia Myers. Major Aiden Myers. Diplomas will now be presented by Kelly and Gary Oyer. Graduating with honors, Ronald Oyer. Diplomas will now be presented by Greg Phillips. Graduating with honors, Noah Phillips. Diplomas will now be presented by Bethany Rose. Peyton Rose. Diplomas will now be presented by Courtney Maxwell. Anthony Smith. Sean Smith. Diplomas will now be presented by Board President, Mr. Ryan Wade. Trent Wade. Diplomas will now be presented by Board Member, Mr. Bill Bonner. Braden James Ackley. Ethan Adams. Emma Atkins. Addison Alexander. Claudia Lytle. Aspen Annan. Graduating with honors in STEM, Kiera Marie Archer. Dakota Ayala. Graduating with honors, Cameron Badger. Riley Barnett. TJ Barr. Graduating with honors in STEM, Dom Barron. Graduating with honors, Mackenzie Marie Bays. Brendan R. Beauregard. Haley Michelle Belcher. Dylan Bello. Takaya Bester. Jonathan David Blakely. Marilyn E. Blanton. Christian Matthew Bloomfield. Jelena Marie Blystone. Wesley Bobo. Brendan Brown. Emma Renee Brown. Aaron Meon Brown. Abigail Faith Campbell. Treston Edward Carl. Alfonso Carr. Blake Carroll. Cody Cheney. Isaiah Matthew Cheney. Yeling Chin. Alexa Rain Clark. Davian Clater. Gage Cockrell. Briley Colley. Cheyenne Collins. Graduating with honors, Jay Sleeman Copley. Kayliana Rachel Marie Corey. Diplomas will now be presented by board member Mr. Randy Kelly. Cole Aiden Crawford. Lucren Crum. Stay there. Brady Lee Curtis. Mercer Cutright.
Donrea Davidson. Clayton Jeffrey David Davis. Kylie Sue DeLong. Graduating with honors in career tech, Alexis K. Detillion. Solomon David Dixon. J.C. Douglas. Graduating with honors in social science and civic engagement, Alyssa Nicole Dudley. Graduating with honors, Carter Monroe Dunphy. Lily Maisie Rain Farmer. Shade A. Feltz. Graduating with honors, Aiden Patrick Fisher. Graduating with honors, Isabella Carmen Flores. Graduating with honors in social science and civic engagement, Shania Rochelle Lynn Foraker. Alexis Hope Gant. Graduating with honors, Sunny Ramon Garcia. Lakota James Dean Garrett. Elijah Kyle Gieb. Addison Grace Gibson. Timothy E. Gibson. Aubrey Anna Clock. Trevor Goldsberry. Alexander David Foster Good. Graduating with honors in social science and civic engagement, Madison Nicole Gothard. Graduating with honors, Megan Elizabeth Gothard. Graduating with honors, Aurora A. Graves. Antonio Green. Mia Hakes. Graduating with honors, Vincent Lee Haller. Graduating with honors, Victoria Lorraine Hammer. Graduating with honors, Judea Presence Harding. Marcellus Stefan Harris. Jaden Lee Harrison. Graduating with honors, Chevelle Kaylin Hartley. Tessa Nicole Harwell. Zioni Karina Hawk. Diplomas will now be presented by Board Vice President, Mr. Sean Porter. Tashawn Joseph Hendricks. Zion Judah Henson. Graduating with honors, Isaac James Herlihy. Alyssa Nicole Hicks. Vic Anthony Hitchens. Clayton Hollis. Isaac Denver Holycross. Aiden Jeffrey Hopper. Caitlin Ava Elaine Hostetler. Anna Joy Howe. Graduating with honors, Daniel Herf. Damian D. Irvin. Graduating with honors, Zachariah Silas James. Harley Lynn Nicole Johnson. Ava Madeline Jones. Chloe Avea Jones. Talon Julius Jones. Zayden Jean Jones. Cheyenne Renee Keller. Ashley Lauren King. Paris Clance. Graduating with honors, Savannah Faith Knapp. Brandy Jade Craftifer. Haley Michelle Craftifer. Lee Constance Lassen. Hope Eternity Leach. Graduating with honors in STEM, Charles Philip Legg. Sean Lintag. Jeremy Wayne Lynch, Jr. Graduating with honors in STEM, Anne Therese Mamoni. Abigail Jean Malone. Danielle Shea Manasco. Graduating with honors, Jamie Mervilla. Jackson George Martin. Landon Thomas Motts. Graduating with honors, Mallory Jo McCloy. Graduating with honors in STEM, Miranda K. McCloy. Lily M. McDowell. Ista Ann McNeil. Diplomas will now be presented by Assistant Superintendent Kathy Payne. Jackson Gail McNeil.
Graduating with honors in STEM, Peyton Joy McCourt. Michaela Starr Mead. Mackenzie Page Mead. Cadence Jane Malott. Graduating with honors, Adeline Jane Mendel. Graduating with honors in social science and civic engagement, Avery Elise Miller. Juan Lee Miller. Jordan Daniel Montgomery. Ella Moore. Stephen Luther Moore. Ethan Emmanuel Morris. Graduating with honors, Haley James Meitinger. Mackay James Nelson. Tao Fung Lei Gwen. Chris Tran Nussbaum. Jeremy Oates. Graduating with honors, Jose Ochoa. Kaylee Micah Olson. Graduating with honors in STEM, Jackson Davis Oyer. Graduating with honors, Mackenzie Lee Pabst. Colton W. Parker. Graduating with honors, Nicholas Lee Parker. Caden Vance Peterson. Kalicia Ott Raylin Ponyavong. Athena Marie Pitts. Jackson Davis Poe. Maisie Poe. Jaden Wyatt Pontius. Graduating with honors, Alexander Michael Powers. Gabriel Alexander Ramsey. Carson Andrew Rearley. Graduating with honors in STEM, Matthew Thomas Remley. Cortland Jean Ann Reynolds. Graduating with honors, Abby Elizabeth Richardson. Madison Grace Richardson. Kaylee Jo Rife. Trustin Donovan Riley. Diplomas will now be presented by Board President Mr. Ryan Wade. Malachi Maurice Allen Robinson. Rodney Christopher Rudder III. Natalie Lynn Sabo. Summer Rain Sanford. Huh? Skip saying it? Don't say Micah. Okay. Autumn Page Sauer. Mackenzie Grace Skaggs. Graduating with honors, Braylon Zane Scales. Daniel Sism Jr. Chloe Helena Seward. Graduating with honors in career tech, Kaylee Lynn Shepard. Catherine Elizabeth Sherman. Caitlin Sherrick. Tanner Smathers. Graduating with honors, Addison Ray Smith. Ariana Jolene Smith. Erica Marie Summers. Bradley Southern. Danica Jersey Marie Sprouse. Nicole Steele. Alicia Nicole Stevenson. Graduating with honors in STEM, Ella Catherine Strout. Indica Pauline Strasbaugh. Jeremiah Lee Torman. Graduating with honors, LaDawn Autumn Thomas. Larissa Renee Thompson. Grace Elizabeth Townsend. Amaya Ann Trepanier. Michael Turner. Zion Julius Van Hoos. Graduating with honors, Jesslyn May Wakavet. Graduating with honors, Eden Grace Wagner. Michael E. Weiss. James Douglas Whitaker. Adriana Nicole White. Michelle Joanne Wilds. Aaliyah Marie Williamson. Wyatt Wilson. Tiana Ajane Wingo. Chloe Nicole Wooten. Graduating with honors, Benjamin Saranje Yandila. Linnea Sue Yingling. Micaiah Tisa Marie Zimmerman. Hannah Cottrell.
Congratulations, graduates. Let's give the class of 2025 another big round of applause. We are incredibly proud of you and all that you have accomplished. You have represented Chillicothe High School with distinction, and tonight we celebrate the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. At this time, I invite everyone to please stand for the singing of Chillicothe High School's alma mater, the Blue and White, performed by CHS Symphonic Choir. Thank you to the Symphonic Choir and Mr. Skasko for that beautiful rendition. As a reminder to our audience, it is standing tradition here at Chillicothe High School to conclude our commencement ceremony with a formal recessional. We kindly ask that all guests remain standing in the bleachers or at your seats until the entire class of 2025 has exited the field. Once the orchestra concludes their performance, that will be your cue to exit the seating area and join the graduates around the perimeter of the field. Thank you for being here tonight as we celebrate these exceptional young men and women. Class of 2025, congratulations once again. We can't wait to see what your future holds. And now, as principal of Chillicothe High School, it is my pleasure to state that you, the class of 2025, may move your tassels. I now pronounce you graduates of Chillicothe High School. It gives me great pleasure to present to you all in attendance these graduates, and I invite you to rise or remain standing and applaud the graduating class of 2025 as they exit the field, and feel free to congratulate them following the recessional.